Do you ever feel like life is filled with too much stuff? Not just the things we own, but the endless commitments, expectations, and routines that leave us feeling drained? We're taught to believe that more is better, but what if the opposite is true? Imagine the idea that needing less could actually bring you more joy, freedom, and fulfillment. It sounds strange, right? Like saying, the less cake I eat, the more satisfied I feel. It doesn't seem to make sense at first glance. Yet this concept has inspired everyone from ancient philosophers to modern minimalists. Welcome to our channel, Pursuit of Harmony. Today, we're diving into the life-changing philosophy of less is more. Stick around, because you'll learn how simplifying could be the key to finding the freedom and happiness you've been missing, starting now. The idea of simplicity isn't new. Philosophers and thinkers have long praised the virtues of living simply. The ancient Greeks, for example, were fascinated by the power of simplicity. They believed that reducing the clutter in our lives, both physical and mental, could lead to a clearer, more meaningful existence. For them, simplicity wasn't just a lifestyle choice. It was a pathway to wisdom and inner peace. One of the earliest advocates for simplicity was the philosopher Epicurus, who lived over 2,000 years ago. Unlike the image we might have of a philosopher as someone deeply serious, Epicurus actually enjoyed life very much, but he did so in a way that might seem unusual to us today. He believed that happiness could be found in simple pleasures, things like a loaf of bread, a glass of water, and a meaningful conversation with friends. No need for fancy foods or luxury items. For him, joy was found in appreciating the small things. In a way, Epicurus was one of the first people to truly believe that less is indeed more. He argued that by limiting our desires and avoiding the constant craving for luxurious things, we could find true contentment. Imagine Epicurus living in our world today, scrolling through social media and seeing images of luxury vacations, fancy cars, and extravagant lifestyles. He would probably just shake his head and go back to his simple life, appreciating a plain meal and some quality time with friends. In Epicurus's view, it's not about having what everyone else has. It's about finding happiness in the things you already have. This message is just as relevant today as it was in ancient times. Another group of ancient thinkers who valued simplicity was the Stoics, a school of philosophy that originated in ancient Greece and flourished in Rome. Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus believed that true happiness doesn't come from wealth or possessions but from within. They taught that by controlling our desires, we could avoid the pain of unfulfilled wants. After all, if you don't want much, you're less likely to be disappointed. The Stoics saw happiness as something that we control with our own thoughts and attitudes, rather than something that can be bought or owned. They believed that by focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, reactions, and values, we could find peace, regardless of external circumstances. In this way, the Stoics were kind of like the original minimalists. They didn't need much to be happy because they had learned to appreciate what they already had. Imagine a Stoic in today's world, living with just one backpack, free from the constant need to acquire more. They might even enjoy the simplicity of having fewer belongings to manage. For the Stoics, happiness wasn't about having more, it was about needing less. This approach aligns perfectly with modern minimalism, which also encourages us to cut back on our physical possessions and focus on what truly brings us joy. In other parts of the world, philosophies were developing that also emphasize simplicity. Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, taught the concept of the middle path, which is all about balance. Buddha believed that extreme lifestyles, whether luxurious or ascetic, were unlikely to bring lasting happiness. Instead, he advocated for a moderate way of living, where we enjoy what we have without overindulgence. According to Buddhist teachings, the desire for material possessions can create a cycle of endless craving, which ultimately leads to suffering. Buddha believed that by letting go of this craving and finding joy in simpler things, we could experience true inner peace. He famously left his royal life behind in search of enlightenment, finding that neither extreme luxury nor total deprivation was the answer. Instead, he focused on a balanced life, one where pleasure is not shunned, but is also not the sole focus. Imagine Buddha at a modern-day buffet with endless food choices. He would likely take a small amount of each dish, savoring just enough to feel satisfied, without overindulging. This idea of moderation and balance can apply to many areas of life, whether it's our approach to food, possessions, or even our daily routines. Buddha's middle path teaches us that happiness isn't found in either extreme, but in enjoying what we have without excess. Many spiritual traditions celebrate simplicity, not only as a way of life, but as a form of beauty. In Zen Buddhism, for example, there is a concept called wabi-sabi. This philosophy values simplicity, imperfection, and the beauty of natural, unpolished things. Wabi-sabi is about appreciating things as they are, without trying to make them perfect. It teaches us to find beauty in what's worn, aged, or humble. seeing it as a reflection of life's transient nature. Imagine a weathered wooden table with scratches and dents. It might not look perfect, but it has character and tells a story. Wabi-sabi would celebrate this table for its imperfections, seeing them as beautiful rather than flaws to be fixed. This appreciation for simplicity and imperfection can remind us that we too don't need to be perfect. Just like the table, our flaws are part of what makes us unique. Today, minimalism has become a movement that's about much more than just cleaning up. It's a way of life that encourages us to let go of what we don't need, so that we can focus on what truly matters. Joshua Becker, a well-known figure in the minimalist movement, says that the first step in creating the life you want is to get rid of everything that doesn't serve you. This might mean donating clothes you never wear, removing distractions, or even letting go of toxic relationships. Many people who adopt minimalism describe it as a process of discovering freedom. They find that by reducing the amount of stuff in their lives, they create space, both physically and mentally, for things that bring them joy and peace. Imagine finally clearing out that junk drawer in your kitchen, or deleting hundreds of old emails. That feeling of calm and clarity is what minimalists aim to experience throughout their lives. Minimalism reminds us that our belongings often bring stress rather than joy. We worry about maintaining them, upgrading them, or losing them. Philosophers and psychologists alike argue that clutter doesn't just take up physical space, it occupies mental space as well. When our homes are filled with things we don't need, our minds become cluttered, making it harder to focus and relax. In contrast, a simpler life, one with fewer distractions and unnecessary items, can feel like a breath of fresh air. In a world dominated by FOMO, or the fear of missing out, there's a new concept gaining popularity: JOMO, the joy of missing out. JOMO is all about finding happiness in doing less, in saying no to things that don't add value to our lives. It's the relief of not feeling pressured to attend every event, buy every new gadget, or keep up with every trend. It's about embracing simplicity and feeling content right where you are. Imagine a weekend where you don't have any plans. Instead of feeling left out, you enjoy the freedom to do as you please. Whether that's reading a book, spending time with family, or simply relaxing. JOMO teaches us that happiness isn't about always being on or constantly connected. Sometimes true joy comes from unplugging and focusing on the simple things. If the idea of simplicity resonates with you, here are some practical steps to start embracing a less is more lifestyle. 1. Declutter your space. Go through your belongings and let go of anything that doesn't bring you joy or serve a purpose. Start with one area, like a closet or drawer, and work your way through your home. Remember, this isn't about throwing everything away. It's about creating space for what really matters. 2. Limit your desires. Take inspiration from the Stoics and try to reduce the amount of stuff you want. Instead of always looking for the next big thing, try to appreciate what you already have. Practicing gratitude can help shift your focus from what's missing to what's present. 3. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches us to be present and fully engaged in the moment. By focusing on what's happening now, we can find joy in simple things, whether it's the taste of our morning tea or the sound of birds outside our window. 4. Embrace imperfection. Wabi-sabi reminds us that beauty isn't always about perfection. Try to appreciate things as they are, including yourself. Let go of the need for everything to be flawless and find beauty in the natural and imperfect. 5. Focus on relationships. One of the greatest joys in life is meaningful connection with others. Spend time with people who make you feel happy and supported, and let go of relationships that bring you stress or negativity. 6. Enjoy the present. Finally, remember that life is happening right now. Don't spend all your time thinking about what you want next or dwelling on the past. Embrace the beauty of each moment, savor the little things, and be fully present with the people and experiences around you. Life unfolds in the present, and by being mindful, you'll find more joy, peace, and meaning in everyday moments. Less is more isn't just a practice, it's a mindset. It's a way of seeing the world through a lens of gratitude and simplicity. This philosophy encourages us to ask ourselves, what truly makes me happy? What brings meaning to my life? By letting go of things, habits, or expectations that don't serve us, we make room for experiences, people, and values that do. Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of calm, unburdened by the pressure to acquire or accomplish more. This state of mind allows us to focus on quality over quantity, whether that's quality time with loved ones, meaningful work, or moments of self-care. When we adopt the less is more mindset, we shift our focus from accumulation to appreciation, from doing more to being more present. The journey to simplicity doesn't have to be a sudden, drastic change. It's a gradual process of learning to value what truly matters and finding joy in everyday moments. In a world that often tells us to want more, buy more, and do more, Embracing simplicity is a powerful, transformative choice. It's a decision to live with intention and let go of the rest. In the end, a simpler life doesn't mean we have less. It means we have more of what truly matters. So let's take a cue from the wisdom of philosophers, both ancient and modern, and try to live a little lighter. Let's laugh more, love more, and why not, own less? Because sometimes life's greatest treasures aren't the things we hold in our hands, but the moments we hold in our hearts. If you're ready to start transforming your habits, be sure to check out our video, How the 20-Second Rule Turns Laziness into Your Secret Weapon. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more tips like these.